Good morning, everyone. It's Patty in the AM. Happy Monday, everyone. And today I wanted to talk about the post I shared. And it's from Orin. And if no one is familiar with who Orin or Orin and DaBen are, the thoughts come from a series of books. It's the Earth series. And then the author is named Sanaya Roman, Sanayarroman. And there you can also find her works on a website called orinanddaben.com. And you can also just read my posts each day. It's funny, I read all the books years ago, and I always wanted to share them with people, and it seemed like it was too much to maybe digest at the time. This was a long time ago. So in the last few years, I started just taking one little thought that you can find on the website and sharing it each day. There's always random messages that you can click on to get your own message if you'd like. But I like to share what rings true for me in the moment and see where it goes. So the thought is, wondering, how can I be acknowledged, have more support, or get what I want? Blocks your clear sensing of energy. Give to others what you want to receive: love, support, appreciation, healing, and acknowledgement, and you will get it back. Giving opens your ability to see others in their systems of reality, and it most definitely enables you to see yourself in a higher, more loving way. And I thought on this one because, I have different friends who will ask me questions, or sometimes they book my services too. They'll pay just like you do. And that's another topic on another day, but I feel like, I can't just be free for one person and not the other. But anyways, back to the story. So I have one friend who said, well, aren't I supposed to give what I want to get back? And I said, well, it goes a little deeper than that. That comes back to, are we giving unconditionally? What does unconditionally means? It means not having an expectation. Are we giving something because we want something back? Like even in an intimate relation, are we being more touching, more maybe offering more kisses or more hugs because that's what we would like to get? It doesn't work that way. We can't change another person. We can't, it's kind of like, what did Einstein say? He said something about, if you're going to judge the ability of a fish to climb a tree, something like that. But it's basically saying, if you can't think that somebody's going to behave in such a way that isn't in them. If you've met somebody and they're not huggy from the first, they might never be a huggy person. They might never be an intimate person. They might just be who they are. So what does it mean to give what we want? So giving, to me, is in the moment. Have you ever had that moment where, I don't know, you just feel like the car ahead of you, you want to pay for it? Or I should say the car behind you. You just get that feeling, and so you do it. And that, to me, is when you're in a feeling of you don't have an expectation. You don't know who the person is behind you, and you might never see them again. Even if you do know them, or I don't know, do you know them? Or it might just be that maybe you need to do that because it's not so much the car behind you that needs it. Maybe it's the person that's taking your order that needs it. How many times have you been through, maybe, I don't know, sometimes I like to get a Starbucks, nice black coffee. I like Sumatra. And sometimes you can go through that line or the drive-through, and somebody might just need you to be the person that does something nice for someone. It's not for them. It's not for the person waiting on you. It's just because they need to see it, because maybe they've already had a day where everybody seems a little greedy or everybody seems out for themselves. You never know why you're doing it. Just do it. I talk about this feeling, even like I don't buy a lot of lottery tickets, but sometimes I will just because it feels like I should. I don't know what the outcome's going to be. I haven't won yet, but I don't do it often. It's just like I said, I do things all throughout each day based on a feeling. Does it feel like I should offer something? And if I don't do it in that moment, just let it go. I've kind of missed the moment, perhaps. That's why we're supposed to act in the moment. Be like a puppy. What does the puppy do? It wants to give you a kiss. It gives you a kiss. It doesn't stop and hesitate. It's in the moment. But I wanted to talk a little more on this because I was talking to a dear friend. We talk a few days a week. And she's pretty knowledgeable and a little older than me. Probably by about 11 years, I think it is, or 10. She's not on Facebook. But anyways, I do share my work with her. Actually, yesterday she wanted to be able to view my work because she's not on Facebook, so she can't see it. I didn't know that. I thought you could just go on Facebook even if you didn't use it. But anyways, I sent her a random YouTube video of one of my works. And we talked a little bit, and she was saying, I could never do what you do. It's like you're live speaking to, you don't have like someone working with you one-on-one. And I said, well, I feel it's because, it's like I feel like I always should have done this. I think I've discussed in one of my sessions that this is what I'm here to do. And years ago it came up the word podcast. But I didn't really know much about podcasts then, and I'm just getting to this now. So being live is kind of me doing these sessions. It's giving unconditionally. I'm not asking anyone to give money for my sessions. This is something I'm doing openly and freely each Monday morning. It's something I've been wanting to do, like I said. It's basically something I've been wanting to share, because I do, when I make posts each day, I have certain ones that always ask me, well, what does this mean to you? How can I do this? How can I apply this in my life? And for me, it's like to take the time to write the story. It takes some time. It's like if you've ever written a book or a story, it takes, you really got to sit with it. You really got to be in that moment. So back to giving unconditionally, and back to how we are with our audiences. Even my sister had asked, is there going to be a charge for these videos? And I said, no, it's so to me, I see it as this is what unconditional is. So think about, or imagine you've passed and you're on the other side, where you've went through a series of, we go through a cleansing series, and it's not like a thing to wash away. It's just to make us be more soul-like, more of the loving being that we already are, that we've just kind of forgotten a little bit. So say like on the other side, we become someone who can now help others. If we were on the other side, we would be just like I am on this video. There's no receiving. We're just observing and trying to guide with just a little wisdom. We're not making someone right or wrong because we don't even know what their steps are. I can't say we can't see them, because on the other side, of course, you'd be able to see others. But we can't judge them. But there's no expectations. So to me, this is what it means. This is just a small particle of what it means to just give unconditionally. There's no expectation. I have none. I have zero. I don't even, it was funny because my poor dear friend. But anyways, I'll use her because I know she doesn't mind. We share a lot of things. Her first thing was to tell me what she thought of it, as far as if she thought it was good or not. It's just to give me a point of view from someone, and it hit me funny because I wasn't. It was nice. She said it was really well done and everything like that, which I really respect her point of view. She's pretty accomplished in writing and in her life. She's done well. But to me, it was like, wow, I didn't ask. And I wasn't really looking for how someone felt about my videos. It's just, like I said, it's kind of like going back to if we give what we want. So we've all been in relationships of some sort, I'm sure, even if it's just an animal or maybe it's just a plant. But let's get a little more of a different perspective, something that's pretty common, relationships with people. I mean, I know I've done it. I don't know about you, but I like to keep a house in order. I like the grounds to be in order. I like order in my life, not like an OCD amount, but I like to have everything have a place, because I find that if I have disorder around me, it doesn't help with, it makes it harder to stay clear in my thoughts. I also don't like a lot of things to mound up, because then it's almost like an overwhelming task. And where did that come from in my life? Maybe it's just something I gravitated towards because it's something that I didn't know, unbeknownst to me, that would be in my being in this life. Because I used to think, well, it's probably because when I was a kid I worked in a restaurant, Cindy's restaurant here in Scituate, Rhode Island, when I was young. I was one of the first ones to start. But anyways, one of the positions I held I did all different positions in that restaurant, but one was being a prep cook, which means that you prepare everything for the cook, and sometimes you might be working on a back grill. But in order to do that position, you have to have everything have order, because if you don't have order, a system down and pat, which means cleaning up after each step, you will have a huge mess and you'll be overwhelmed. So you need a system. But for me, that doesn't work with everyone, because there's a lot of people that have held that position that they don't have order, or like wanting to have positions, things in place. So I wanted to bring that up only because it's just to show that order, just because I have it and just because I want it where I am, doesn't mean everyone else is going to behave in the same way. Like, say, if you're married to someone, you might be, reminds me of, I don't know, if you're older, you might remember the show The Odd Couple, where it was Felix and Oscar was always like, flicking his ashes from a cigar everywhere, or not purposefully, but Felix was the clean fanatic, and somehow they learned to live together, which, probably can be challenged, because if you watch the show, one would move out and get frustrated with the other. But it does go to show that, if we want to keep our house or our business or our car clean and orderly, we can't expect everyone who gets into it to do the same. So this goes back to one of my other friends. She's like, I don't get it. She goes, I do everything, for my children and my grandchildren, but yet when it comes to my birthday or Christmas time, I'll be lucky if I even get a text. And I said, because we can't expect others to behave in the way that we do, because that is an expectation. And when we have expectations of others, we actually take ourselves down a few levels on the vibration. We all speak of vibrations, where we're vibrating at. An expectation is not a place of love. Think of yourself again from a higher realm. There's not a being out there that says, oh, you owe me. I know that even Rumi talks about that, about the sun and the moon, about you owe me. I'll have to come up with a quote, maybe I'll share it today, but it's a beautiful thought. Like, no one owes you anything. Like, if you're doing something that you're only doing to get appreciation or get respect or get acknowledgement, don't do it. Do it because you want to. Do it because it makes you feel good. When you do things like that, you don't have an expectation. You're just doing what you love to do. And so even if I like keeping a home in order or the grounds in order, it's something that I enjoy. It's something that just makes me feel good. So what are some things that, we all have relationships, and even like I said, if it's with a plant or your animals, what are some things that you do that you're just doing because you want to, not because it's what you would do for yourself? Which brings me into something that is even more dear to my heart, and it is how the foods I eat. and how I've taken the foods that I eat and have now begun to share them with my dog, because I've found, by his own choice, he just stopped eating his food, which is a pretty high-grade food. It's grain-free. It's all those wonderful things that you would want in a dog food, but he just stopped wanting it. I was like, But at that point, I was already giving him eggs every morning, raw eggs, eggnog, raw milk. Yes, I drink raw milk. And so I didn't have an expectation. So I was just doing this because it makes me feel good, so I was doing this for another. I don't expect my dog to be like, thanks, you know what I mean, you're the best, or anything like that. It's just something I'm doing because I know it's made me feel good the way that I eat. So I'm also doing this for my dog, because I know that through my trial and error for the last 30 years that I learned about like pH balance and what we should be putting in our bodies and what we should not, what makes us feel good, what makes us not, that why not use this with the dog? It's like the prices of dog food, as we all know. If you want a nice high-grade dog food, they can be pretty pricey. And so some of us can afford it and some of us can't. So I thought to myself, just like when I had children, I still have children, but when they were younger, we would all share a meal. We would share the same thing, and that's what we did, and it makes it more affordable. So we could even use that with our animals. And, it is important to pay attention to that. So in what other ways do we have expectations? I think children are a good way to share this example. How many times, or even friends, or maybe, we've loaned money to a business acquaintance, or it could just be a friend, or it could be anyone's. Maybe it was somebody we felt bad for because they were down and out and they told us they were going to pay us back. If we have an expectation and we've lent money to someone who's down and out and we have an expectation to pay us back, we've lost that moment. We've done an injustice to ourselves and the other, because if someone's already down and out, they might never be able to pay us back to maybe what we felt was an easy amount to earn. They might never get there. And I'm not saying don't help another. If you're feeling it, help them. If you have an extra $100 to give to someone and you're feeling it, just do it. You never know why you're feeling it. And it goes back to the drive-through. You never know why you're feeling that feeling to do something in the moment. You never know why you feel that feeling to pay for the car behind you. You never know why you feel the feeling to give that person who's waiting on you a substantial tip. You never know why you're getting that feeling to give someone a hug. Maybe you do. Like if you're a little bit clairvoyant or a little bit more intuitive, you might feel it. It's kind of how I work with things. But I'm telling you, never give because you feel if you give, you'll get it back. Because when you give with the feeling that you're going to get it back, that's an expectation. So I want you to take that into your heart today. I want you to really pay attention to the things we do and the things we have an expectation for. I want you to really pay attention to the idea if we're in the heavenly realms, how would we guide others? If they weren't taking the right steps, would we say like, oh, forget it, I'm not going to help you? No, we wouldn't do that. We'd be like, it's okay. I have all the time in the world. I am here for you. I don't need anything in return. I am here for you. I am here to just be and guide. So that is my message for today. I hope it reaches you well. If you would like me to talk more on foods that I share with my dog or that myself, I am always here. If you'd like me to do a session on that in my weekly series, I would love to because I feel that when we do right by our body, we feel good. We have more energy. We just feel phenomenal. We rise better. We greet others better. We just feel good. But what I've found in working with other people on health as far as foods and diet. They just didn't know. They had no idea. There's no baseline because we didn't know that, oh, if we eat this way, we'll have a clarity, so to speak. You know, it's kind of like clearing off the whole table and beginning again. Today's a new day. All right, so that's it for today. I love you all so very, very much. Remember, all are a part of you. Love, love, love.